Silva's last win in 2012 have tried. They've stopped at 13, 14, 15. Why are you different? Why are you going to get to 17 and go beyond to 20, as you say?
Hello, everyone. 17, it's not going to be enough. I will be sure nobody going to break my record. It's going to be 20 minimum. That's why I will still fighting, still beat all records.
And Ian says his goal in there on Saturday is to frustrate you and irritate you with his style. How are you preparing for that? And as you say, you feel you're going to have to chase him and run after him. How do you find the balance there?
Ian is a good fighter, but he don't have something special. I beat many strikers, and that's it. He just next opponent. That's it. He don't have something special to defend my wrestling.
And Ian, I know you call it, irritating and frustrating. Islam has called it running away and point fighting and things like that. Do you feel with a champion like him, for what he's done, you're going to have to go in there and take this belt with force on Saturday?
Saturday night, that belt's got around my waist, and every single one of you is going to change. It's going to be, let's go, Gary Chance. I love you too. Master manipulation. That's what it's called. Movement at the highest level. It's called master manipulation. I move, I choose shots, I force them where I want them to be, and then I take my time to choose the right shots. Islam's a phenomenal talent. He's a phenomenal athlete. Nobody gets to this level of respect where he's got this streak by luck. It's pure skill. I have nothing but respect for his skill set, everything he's done in this sport. And I'm proud, and I'm proud that I get to compete against him to prove that I'm the champion. That's an honor, and I'm excited.
And I know you said after the first face-off, you felt nervous energy from him. I know you've only been up here for a couple of minutes, but what do you feel from Islam Makhachev here today?
As I said, I think it was more the fact that he didn't want to be there. He's done this too many times as the champion. He doesn't care about those things. And I made it very clear to you. The one that matters is tomorrow night when we face off at ceremonials. That's the face-off where I see the energy. I know he's done this too many times. I know what he's like. He's an unbelievable fighter. He's ready for the moment, and I'm excited that he's ready.
He doesn't actually consider you Irish. He thinks you're more Brazilian. Do you see this fight as a continuation of the Dagestan-Irish rivalry?
Listen, if he wants to call me Brazilian, I'll carry that badge of honor, no problem. The Brazilians in this sport have some of the greatest resumes in this sport. The Brazilian UFC fans, they know this. We've got Damian Maia, Charles Oliveira, Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo, legends of the game. So if he considers me Brazilian, I'll take that with pride. But I'm born and bred in Dublin, Ireland. This fight, this is between me and him. This is two of the greatest fighters on the planet going face-to-face for the most important title in the world. It's that welterweight world title on the line. He's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. I'm the #1 contender. This is the biggest fight of the year, and I'm so ready for it.
He says that you have nothing special to show him on Saturday night. What do you think beating Islam would do in proving that you are a special fighter?
Beating him proves that I'm special. Everybody right here, everybody in this stadium, every single one of you fans, consider him to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. You consider him to be the greatest martial artist walking the earth right now. When I beat him, you'll all shut your fucking mouth and you'll call me great.
Ian, clearly you're having fun with the crowd. Are you a little bit surprised? Why don't these people like you?
I couldn't give a fuck. I couldn't care less. My little boy's here laughing at me, smiling at me, making faces. I'm living the dream. Islam's here. I get to show up on Saturday night and fight for a world title. I dreamt of this dream when I was a 16-year-old kid. I dreamt of being a UFC fighter. I dreamt of having the ability to fight for a UFC world title. And this weekend, on August 15th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, all of my dreams come true, and nobody can take that away from me.
Are you a little bit surprised that the fans are so against Ian this Saturday?
No, I don't surprise. I know. No, nobody like Garry. Myself also. He don't know because people confuse which country you represent, Brazil or Ireland. People don't know. People know who they have to support. Thank you for all your support, guys.
Islam, a lot of fans sometimes say that Ian is annoying. Do you find Ian Garry annoying?
That's a loaded question.
Sorry, yeah. Well,
What you're doing now is just trying to cause trouble. Don't do it.
I was trying
We're
to.
friends.
I
thought we were cool. Don't do it.
was trying to get back and forth.
That's just putting words in his fucking mouth, and you know it.
True.
If he finds that, he can be honest and he can say that. But your job as a journalist is to be professional and stick to the fucking sport. This is the biggest fight of the year. I think there's more important things to talk about.
Question for Ian Garry. Question for Ian Machado Garry. Ian, Conor McGregor predicted that you would win by head kick knockout. What type of energy have you gotten from him the last 12 years?
Dude, that would be a phenomenal finish. I already know that this fight on Saturday night is going to be the toughest fight of my life. I have the toughest challenger of my career ahead of me, and I have nothing but respect. The job for me is get my hand raised. That's my job, by any means necessary. If I could finish him, that's a cherry on top.
A question for Islam Makhachev. You've beaten everybody at lightweight. You're stacking up your resume at welterweight. If you beat Ian Machado Garry, would that be the biggest win of your career?
No, it's not gonna be biggest. Biggest win in my career. It's the title fight. I take 2 titles, and now I'm gonna defend my welterweight title. And welterweight right now it's more competitive division, and I have more good opponents, and that's why I want to fight more years, because we have real contenders in this division.
So, with Fight Night approaching, Dana White believes that Islam Makhachev can break Anderson Silva's record for most title defenses, and the outcome hinges on whether Garry can keep the fight standing.
Islam Makhachev, if he wins this fight, he breaks Anderson Silva's record for most title defenses. And obviously, as tough as he is, Ian Garry is tough to take down, great striking. If he can stay standing, he's going to give Islam hell of a night.
Chael Sonnen argues that Islam isn't concerned with Gary's ground game or submission skills. Instead, he identifies the real challenge as closing the distance to secure a takedown against Gary's movement, height, and reach.
I will just share for you that height is a real thing, and Ian Gary's got it. And there's something that Islam has seen, I believe, that concerns him about the takedown. There's something within Ian Gary that concerns Islam, period. I have to then guess what it is. I don't think it's on the ground. I don't think it's a submission threat. I don't think it's a conditioning issue. I think it's simply, how do I get to a guy that's this long and moves this much? My official prediction, Ian Gary is gonna knock Islam out.
However, Dominic Cruz sees a different outcome, acknowledging Makhachev's dominant run while believing Gary has a real path to an upset. Cruz predicts a competitive bout that goes the distance.
I really do love the champion that Islam Makhachev, that Khabib Nurmagomedov were, because they were respectful, they did their job, they weren't running their mouths talking shit, they just stuck to who they had been and just keep winning, right? So I have so much respect for that. I do think that moving up a weight class and fighting Ian Gary, I do see a good chance at a potential upset, for sure. And I think that the betting lines are going to get a lot more even when the fight gets closer. I think he's going to be huge, like big, next to Makhachev. Yeah, I mean, again, I could see an upset happening, yeah.
Yeah, what would it look like? Like, do you see most likely a decision? Yeah.
Yeah, I see a decision, maybe even a split. More than likely a split decision win for Ian Gary, if I had to guess.
Talking about the matchup, Tom Aspinall thinks of Ian Gary as a sharp guy who is quick-witted and potentially the hardest opponent Islam will ever face.
Stylistically, Ian Gary is a pretty bad matchup for him, to be honest. He's long, rangy, moves really well. You don't often see him getting taken down and held there. Super tall, super, elusive, elite striking, judges the distance really well. He's young, he's fresh, he's not had loads of damage or anything like that. He's not got a lot of miles on the clock. But then we're talking about Islam Makhachev, mate. In my opinion, pound for pound number one.
Aspinall predicts a decision win for Makhachev. He dismisses late round fatigue concerns, noting Gary has never slowed in championship rounds.
Islam Makhachev, decision.
Reasons why?
I just think that he's got more chance of him controlling the fight than Ian landing something. That being said, I think it's completely possible that Ian can win. And I'm not 100% confident in my prediction either. But I can't think that anybody in the welterweight division is going to beat Islam at the moment.
Do you think the championship rounds as well play a part in it, if obviously it gets to 4 and 5? And
maybe a little bit, but Ian's never showed any signs of fatigue or getting tired late in the late rounds or anything like that, so I wouldn't be surprised if no, I think Ian's going to be fit the whole way through. I don't think that has any issues in my mind anyway.
Meanwhile, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson highlights Gary's ability to evolve his game plan mid-fight. He also points to Gary's height and reach advantage, believing it will make closing the distance difficult for Makhachev.
Actually, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think the hardest fight Islam has ever faced in the UFC, to be honest with you. Ian Gary is adaptable. He can go out there in a fight and be able to adapt, which is very rare. A lot of people, they can't do that. They have a very hard time adapting and evolving out there during the fight. If something doesn't go their way, they're able to change up the game plan. Ian Gary's been so dominant in this division. I think it's going to be a good one in the fact that Ian Gary is he's good everywhere. I think he's got better striking. He's longer. He keeps a longer range. I think Islam's going to have a hard time closing that gap. Very hard to take down as well because how tall he is. He's very rangy. And he's good off of his back.
Furthermore, Javier Mendez points to the fact that every fighter needs the respect that he deserves. He said, "I'm going to respect Ian Gary the way he deserves to be respected, and I'm going to look at him like I do all my guys. It is the most dangerous challenge to date, and that's the way I do everybody. So if I don't do that, then I'm not doing the respectful thing for my fighter, and I'm not doing the respectful thing for his opponent. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at Ian Gary as our toughest challenge." Looking at the unpredictable nature of the sport, Baze Rutten thinks that Ian Gary shouldn't be underestimated against Islam Makhachev because of his work ethic and his dedication.
I predict Gary will do much better than people expect him to. And maybe he'll add something crazy. Does he have a chance? Of course he does have a chance. It will be hard, but it's not impossible because I know his great work ethic, great striking, great movement, and then a lot of wrestling and a lot of ground training for the last 6 months. I would not count Garry out. He's very slick. Let's see what happens in this upcoming Saturday that we have coming up for the UFC. Can he set him up in those 3 rounds? This is what he said in an interview, and then go for a knockout blow in the 4th round?
Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley acknowledges Makhachev as pound-for-pound best, but expects a tactical fight. He suggests Garry will use range and movement to frustrate Islam, popping jabs and circling to avoid the pocket and fence.
I think Ian's going to do a really, really good job at frustrating. I don't know if he's going to be able to frustrate Islam. He's so mentally tough, so he's been through these 25-minute fights. But I do think there's going to be a point where he's frustrating Islam. He's popping him with the jab, and he's moving, he's circling, he's not engaging, he's hitting him with it. The crowd's booing. They're staying up till 5 a.m. to watch him, and he's punching and moving, but he's doing what he has to do. That's the thing. And if he doesn't do that, he might, he loses percentages to win the fight. So I do think it's going to be a little bit of a punch move. Don't engage too much. I think he's going to wrestle really well. I think he's going to not get his back pushed up against the fence. I think he's going to circle, find the center, shut down a couple takedowns.
Further analyzing Islam's gameplay, O'Malley thinks that many people underestimate Islam's striking, but ultimately he favors Ian Garry to win this fight.
People are sleeping on Islam's striking. Islam striking is clean, especially when he fought Dustin Poirier. But that was southpaw. On southpaw, he was slipped 2-3-2. He was looking super, super sharp. He head kicked Volkanovski. Volkanovski's 5'6". Ian Garry's 6'3". That's I don't think we're gonna see any Islam head kicks to Ian Garry. With that all said, he is vegan, so I'm wondering. I don't know. Part of me thinks that Islam could just grab a hold of him and snap him in half like in zucchini. But I don't know. Final prediction, I think Ian Garry's going to win a decision. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting fight ever. I think there's going to be some good back and forths, but I do think Ian Garry's going to get the job done.
Meanwhile, Robert Whittaker acknowledges Ian Garry's striking, his height advantage and his reach advantage, making him the toughest opponent that Islam has faced so far.
Ian's going to pose a lot of problems or obstacles, I should say, to Makhachev. I think his range, his lightness on his feet, his accuracy with his strikes, his cardio and conditioning of work. Okay, his wrestling defense, his oblique kicks, his kicking game, his creativity, it's all going to lend itself to being annoying for Islam to overcome.
Further analyzing, Robert Whittaker believes that Islam Makhachev's ground game is far better than what Ian Garry imagines, and it will cause problems for him.
But I think Islam's striking defense and striking offense is good enough to control it on the feet, and then when he pushes into his takedown, which he has, Ian's been taken down open mat, like Rakhmonov twice.
Yeah.
When he does get him to the mat, I don't think he makes it out of there. I believe Makhachev's grappling is a higher level than Ian's trained for.
Further breaking down the matchup, Aljamain Sterling points to Garry's reach and range against Makhachev's world-class grappling. He believes the champion's clearest path to victory is through clinching and takedowns, not a striking battle.
How well Ian Garry can control the range, I think he's going to be much bigger than Islam in the sense of height, reach advantage. Sure. The thing about Islam, he's such a complete fighter. He could do everything, but this will be the first time he's got a test with a guy who's a long man, and can he get inside, take him down? I don't think he's going to stand up and strike with him. He can, but I just don't think that's the path to victory against a guy like Ian.
I don't think he has any plans of standing up and striking with him other than as a means to an end.
Yeah.
And his grappling is so high level. Islam's grappling right now is at the top of the food chain.
How does Ian win? He's going to have to point fight and sit on the outside and hope not to get tired going backwards the whole time.
Right.
And he got tired doing that against Carlos Prates. So this is a tough one for Garry. Can he get the upset? Of course, his fighting. We just saw this with Gaethje and Topuria. But I would say Islam has the one shortcut way to win. Push him against the cage, take him down.
Similarly, Alexander Volkanovski admits Garry has shown decent defense, but Islam's layered grappling and positioning will simply be too much to handle.
With this fight coming, I actually did a breakdown. I'm obviously picking you to win. I just think when it comes to the grappling, he's showed some decent defense, but again, I've experienced that the layered grappling and the positioning, the understanding of positions that some people love their techniques. It's all the little battles that some people miss. And you're just, when it comes to your team and you guys use just the positions and then the mechanics, all these little battles. I just think that's just going to be too much.
Meanwhile, Brandon Moreno believes the division fits Makhachev perfectly. While he acknowledges Gary's footwork and movement, he ultimately favors the champion.
Man, it's hard to be against Islam Makhachev, I think he's super good. Looks like the division fits perfect to him. Ian Garry has an amazing footwork, amazing head movement, a really good distance, but I don't know, man. I think I'm going with Islam Makhachev for sure.
Meanwhile, RJ Clifford believes Garry has a legitimate path to victory if he dictates where the fight takes place by keeping the action on the open canvas away from the fence where Makhachev thrives and utilizing his distance, height, and reach. Garry could turn this into a competitive coin flip fight.
Yeah, I think Islam's a giant favorite, and rightfully so. I think he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world by all criteria, and he's all that good. I think if this fight's in the open canvas away from the wall, I think it's a 50-50 fight. Against the cage wall, different story.
Right.
But Ian Garry is so freaking good at taking the fight where you're least proficient. If Ian Garry, with his height and his reach that Islam has yet to deal with in his MMA career, can keep distance, leg kick, circle, jab, circle, he could still rounds, I feel, doing that. Now, again,
yeah,
big underdog for a reason, but open canvas, I feel like it's a coin flip fight.
Tim Welch describes Islam's ground game as the best in the welterweight division, and when Islam pins Ian against the cage, it is going to be a challenge for him to survive.
I do believe Islam Makhachev is going to show up 100% prepared. I think Islam Makhachev submits him. I think in the third round, Ian Machado Garry gets it done. I think Islam's going to have a nice patient pressure. He's not going to rush the shot. And I feel like once he gets him on the wall, once he grabs a single leg or a high crotch, he's going to put him on his back, and it's going to be a long night for Ian Garry. When Ian Garry gets down there, it's going to be very, very hard for Ian Garry to get up. And Ian Garry's going to be respecting his shot so much, and Islam has cracked people. People are so worried about him change levels. He's boom, boom. He sat on a left hand, right hook. He can punch hard too. And now, again, he's going to be a true welterweight.
Islam Makhachev says victory comes from following his game plan. He claims he can finish any way he chooses, stressing only the result matters, his hand raised at the end.
I'm not full of his plan, what he's gonna do. I just know what I have to do. I have plan. We sit with my coaches, with my team. We did a great job, and I have the key. I have everything to finish him. Yeah, for sure. I am completely best fighter in the world. I have all skills. I can knock him out. I can finish him. I can choke him. I can do whatever I want. Just I have to follow my plan. I have to keep going, keep fighting. After the fight, the referee raised my hand. That's it. But for sure, I will try to. I will looking for any chance. And everybody knows if I have some moment, always I looking for the finish.
Brendan Schaub also favors Makhachev, but he gives Garry plenty of credit for his ability and technical approach. He views Ian as a tricky opponent whose style could make the matchup far more competitive than it looks on paper.
Ian Garry, when he fights, is one of the most talented dudes in the UFC. I've been glazing him for how many years, Chin? Ian Garry is so talented inside that octagon. Nightmare of a matchup for guys, not a finisher, stylistically a nightmare for everyone, including Islam Makhachev. This is a fact. It's not going to be an easy fight.
Meanwhile, Ian Garry banks on an elite fight IQ to neutralize Makhachev's grappling and keep the fight standing, exploiting the champion's limitations to dictate pace and impose his style.
I fully believe that I am the elite of the elite when it comes to fight IQ and the way I see fights. I genuinely don't know if there's anyone else that sees the fights the way I see it. I believe I'm special in that regard. That's a complete martial artist.
Yeah.
That's looking at a fight, judging a fight and saying, what's the best route to victory? How do I believe this fight to be the smartest way to approach and get the win? But also, what's the way that I want to win this fight? How do I want to go out here and win this fight? So I think that's the complete martial artist you see in me. I seen his fights with Dustin Poirier and Volkanovski, two guys that are a lot smaller than me and don't have the same output or the same pressure that I have, or the ability to do the things that I can do. And I see that and go, oh,
Now imagine being 6'3", tall, beautiful, phenomenal at what he does. That's where I start to see the challenges that I can possess.
Ultimately, everything comes down to whether Ian Garry can keep the fight at his preferred range, or if Islam Makhachev can drag him into the grappling battle. UFC 330 is set for a fascinating clash of styles, so make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more UFC predictions, breakdowns, and fight updates.